a couple days ago, I was sitting at home thinking to myself how overwhelmed I felt. I was thinking all the different thoughts of what I have to do, what I plan to do, and future goals and things that's currently going on. And it just felt completely overwhelming. I'm sure we can all relate to that feeling of feeling as though we are not in control of what's going on. And so I was thinking, how can I whittle this down to certain thoughts? How can I take all these things that's going on and make it simple? I believe it's possible. And so I thought to myself, okay, what are the 3 big priorities that I have? What are the 3 big things that I could focus on and say, let's get started? And so that's what I did. I thought about those 3 things. And those 3 things for me was working on this big project with this company, focusing on YouTube, then also developing my skills. Those are the 3 main big things that kept running through my mind. And so after I laid out those 3 main things, because it can be difficult because we may have 7 different things we want to focus on, what are the 3 main things pulling on your time? What is a big priority that's important? Whether that be financially or whether it be something that you are really passionate about and really want to start on. And so those were the 3 things for me. So my next step was, okay, now how can I prioritize these? How can I make these a priority within my week? And so I also got this tip from another artist, was to break YouTube down, for example, on certain days that will be Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. So one of those priorities for me was YouTube. So that's what I did. I put YouTube on those 3 days. And the big project that I'm working on, the painting project, I'm putting on the other days. So that will be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and also possibly Saturdays. And if you're anything like me, have you ever tried to put 2 big priorities on the same day and only do one of those? Because that's how I am. I would say sometimes, okay, I want to paint today. Then I'm also going to work on a script or title ideas for YouTube. I would paint, and that will be the rest of the day. Me painting throughout the rest of the day and never starting on any second goal that I had, any second priority. And so I'm finding that I now have to take the one big priority and make that its own day. Give that its own day. And give the next priority its own day. And then what's also helpful is maybe some small task that may help or aid towards the second priority or the third priority. Maybe add those small different tasks throughout the day of a different priority that I have going on. But mainly focusing on one priority for that day. And so that's what I'm planning on implementing now, is taking the time to focus on those 3 priorities, break them down to separate days, and then also sometimes we may leave one out. So for me, I found that developing my craft, okay, I have this big project I'm working on, and I also have YouTube that I'm working on as well. Those are going to take up full days, and I'm really striving for those. So now how can I fit this third priority in there? So for me, similar to when I was talking about adding smaller tasks that add up to that big third priority throughout the other days. So my goal is to maybe add 30 minutes a day, develop my craft, learning something new towards my craft, towards bettering my craft, rather than giving it its own day. So if you can't find it in your schedule to maybe, let's say, add that third priority, second priority, and give it its own day, strive to add maybe a couple minutes a day, a half an hour or an hour or 2 hours a day in with the other priorities. If that works. Sometimes it doesn't always work, and that's okay. But that's what's great too, is learning as you go. It can be difficult, especially for us artists, to always strive to focus on the journey and not the destination. A lot of times, us as artists, we sometimes don't see results all the time, and that can lead to frustration. So we're focusing on the reward sometimes, often saying, hey, I've been focused on a journey for a minute. Now let me see the reward. And so we have to reel ourselves back in and say, okay, I may want this to happen now, but let me take a step back, reel it in, remind myself to focus on the journey, because when I do that, things seem as though they don't need to be as immediate. And I thought about that, I think last night, about focusing on the journey. And once I did that, the pressures of everything needing to be now slowly slowed down. I was like, wait a minute, okay. I feel more free in my thoughts. Now I'm thinking about, okay, this is going to take time. Once I put in my mind, okay, this is going to take time, I feel more comfortable with putting a video out for YouTube, because I'm not too concerned about how many views it's going to get. Because right now it may not get that many views, and that's totally okay, and that's totally good. That's going to take time, because that now gives me the freedom to explore different kind of avenues, different video ideas, different projects and things of that sort, and not strive to rush everything. And social media can definitely be overwhelming. It absolutely can be. Because when we look at social media so much, we see these other artists and people in their crafts getting these rewards and things of that sort, and we think we need it now. So that's another thing that adds on to that overwhelmingness. Feeling overwhelmed is a feeling, not a fact. And lastly, us as artists, sometimes we overwork ourselves. I look at it similar to working out. When working out, we don't always have to leave the gym sore for us to realize that we had a good workout. And us as artists, sometimes we feel that we have to leave the studio mentally sore or mentally drained to feel that we did a great job, when that's not always the case. It's okay to leave out of the studio feeling not as drained. You still probably did a good job. Similar to working out, you leave the gym, you had a decent workout, you don't feel really sore or anything, but that doesn't mean you didn't work out. So keep that in mind when you're in the studio painting and working on your craft and working on your business. It's okay to have some heavy days, and it's also okay to have some light days. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. Feeling overwhelmed is not here to stay. It shall pass. Keep creating, stay blessed, and I'll see you next time.